Hello readers, my name's Nick and today I'm going to be talking about The Mist by Stephen King. The Mist is a novella originally released in 1980 in the anthology Dark Forces and is personally one of my favourite Stephen King works. It kind of sticks with the traditional Stephen King feel, but kind of differs from his other work a little bit in the fact that it's about big nasty monsters picking off this town full of, well, you could call them idiots. It's a bunch of small town folk confronted with this otherworldly horror. Now, this is in my opinion, a lot more sci-fi than horror, although the horror aspect is entirely there. I mean, some of the things that happen are just completely kind of scary, kind of gross out. I know Stephen King's got this three types of horror. I think it's horror, terror, and the gross out or something. I can't remember what it is exactly, but this definitely hits terror of the unknown and the gross out in some of the ways people are offed by these otherworldly creatures. Now, the book novella starts with this guy and his wife and their child, and we're all kind of like having a nice summer day. Then at the night, there's this big, massive storm that leaves this kind of mist hanging over the lake outside their house. The guy thinks it's fine, heads off to the shop with his son. He's not going back. The overall aspect of this novella is that it's a containment horror with multiple people, an unknown foe, and they're all freaking the hell out. It's very kind of psychological, and it's very hard to balance the psychological with the gross out terror and stuff, but King manages to do it really well in this novel, actually. So anyway, they get to the store, and then shit goes to hell. People are running in the store as this mist rolls in and stuff, and then they're all enclosed and nobody dares to go outside. Anytime anybody dares to go outside, they get ripped to shreds by some abomination that they can only just see, like the shadow of in the mist. And people eventually start to lose their minds, especially this really, really religious woman, Mrs. Carmody. I had to look up her name because I couldn't remember exactly how to say it. It's Carmody. Anyway, she's telling people to, it's the work of God. It's a divine intervention type thing that the sinners are getting killed off by these horrible creatures and their demons from hell and everything. And people actually start to believe her, and they end up turning on each other, and it all goes to hell like that. But what really intrigues me is that there is a subplot kind of explained, like the reasons behind it, because this small town, it kind of up the hill, is a military base, and you hear rumors of something called the Arrowhead Project. And in the book, there are a couple of soldiers from that military base there, and once they find out like this mist is rolling in, at least one of them hangs himself. I think that's what happens. I haven't actually read it for a long while, but that in itself, he knows what's going on and he's scared. He would rather kill himself than suffer the fate of whatever's gonna happen. Anyway, eventually they're forced outside because they have to go to the pharmacy, and they find like people all messed up, and like this one guy with spiders, and it's nasty. Read it for yourself. But that's one of the few occasions where you actually get to see a good view of one of the monsters, or a good description of one of the monsters, apart from a time when this flying creature breaks into the store and they have to off it by themselves. Now, the thing about The Mist is it's not just a good horror story, it's not just a good kind of horror sci-fi story, it's a good kind of it's a social commentary story. If you and a bunch of other people were trapped inside this place with no idea what's going on, then how would you react? It really makes you think about how you would respond to a situation like this. And some people respond with faith, other people respond with aggression, other people respond with complete madness. And the protagonist, although he's made out to be kind of the every guy, he gives in to some of his primal urges later on in the story. And I think that just displays that he, along with everyone else, was just human. With everything outside being completely inhuman, it displays what really is human inside. Now, there was a film made about this book in 2007, and I haven't actually seen it properly because I'm not one for horror films. I really quite like horror books because it really gets into the details and it's more descriptive and not just like gore and jump scares or anything. It's more in-depth. But overall, the movie apparently does a not horrible job of reproducing the book. Of course, the ending is completely different. Now, I won't spoil it, but if you've read both the book and seen the film or know anything about the film, you know it's completely different. And I'm going to go out on a limb and say I prefer the book's ending. Because let's just say the film ending ties things up. Not necessarily in a neat bow, but it ties things up. Whereas the book leaves it on that kind of cliff, leaves you on a cliffhanger, kind of, you don't know what's happened, you just got to make it up for your own. Make it up yourself. Now, I know a lot of people don't like that kind of story. I know a lot of people hated Inception because of that, but personally, I really like that idea. So yeah, maybe an overlooked piece of work by Stephen King by a lot of people, seeing as it's just a long short story or a novella and not a full-length book as big as some of his other work. But I really like The Mist. It's got to go down as one of my favourite horror books and one of the most effective at drawing you in. And I'll be more than willing to read it again and again and again. Just not not at night time, because, you know, some bits in that are completely terrifying. So, yeah. Anyway, if you have read this book or have you seen the film and want to add anything to the conversation, leave anything you want to say down in the comments below. My name's been Nick from Rational Readers. I hope you enjoyed my ramblings, and I'll see you next time.